My name is Joanie Edwards. I'm an author and a speaker. Over 20 years ago today, I was a homeless mother with 2 children. Today I want to share with you my journey and what happened inside of my miracles, and I want to show you how you can make a difference in the lives of others. Thank you. I think the background of the story is the most interesting part of that particular crisis when I found myself homeless in Graham, Texas, at the intersection of Elm and 4th Street. That was my intersection, and that's where I feel like God met me to turn my life around. That particular time, there were many things going on. I was abandoned with 2 children, and I was homeless, no job. And I just ended up in a town that I was unfamiliar with in Graham, Texas. Took a wrong turn, ended up in an intersection that changed my life. And lots of things transpired during that time, Rita. There were lots of things going through my head. I just lost all faith in myself. I absolutely looked in the back seat. I saw 2 children asleep. I knew that I had $80 in my pocket, and I knew that I had to make that last. And I knew that I had not made the right decisions at that point, because I didn't know how they were ever going to trust me again. Not only are we not where we're supposed to be, we're actually lost. And that's when I had this breakdown. And at that moment, instead of being that woman that was always in control, always working out problems, I was that woman that didn't know where to go next. I was literally lost, physically lost, mentally lost, spiritually lost. And I turned it all over to God in that moment. For whatever reason, I always wanted to be the one in control. I wanted to take charge of everything. I wanted to be that person that didn't need to rely on anyone else, self-sufficient and independent. And at that moment, I was absolutely crippled by lots of things: fear, anxiety. It's just the fact of being lost, the fact of being homeless, the realization of being homeless. And I turned my life over at that point. I just surrendered everything to God, and I said, I don't want the control anymore. I'm done with it. I'm not good at it. And the 2 most valuable assets I have are in the back seat and dependent on me, and I can't even get them a safe place to stay. And that's when it occurred to me that God is the only entity that was going to be able to help me. And I had depended too much on family recently during that time. I had done things I didn't want to do and depending on other people. And it wasn't in my character or my style to depend on people. I was actually the one helping others, not being helped, so that was difficult for me. I was praying about was I did not want to go to Fort Worth in the first place. I didn't want to raise my children there. And it was amazing that God heard me, because I ended up in a town where people immediately knew the call to action. It was like the Christians that you read about in the Bible, waiting on God to knock at the door, waiting on that call to action. They were all ready, from real estate people, job interviews. Then word traveled fast, and they wanted us to be at home. They actually wanted us to be safe, and they were concerned about us. I hadn't experienced that before, because I had always been the one concerned about other people and to volunteer at other crisis events and things. So it was different for me being on that side of it. I was reluctant to do this because, not that I didn't want to give back, it's just that I didn't know that, I knew I could care deeply, but I didn't know if it was ever going to make a difference. And so when I started to meet people, God put people in my life that were in crisis, or had been in crisis, or had a crisis story to tell. Then it became very important to me that I help them by helping as much as I can. I guess I wanted to be on such a bigger level of help, because individually it was like taking one bite out of the apple, and it felt like the long way around the world.